Alright, good afternoon, friends. Pardon the tired voice, I am exhausted. It's been a really crazy week scheduling and such at work, but I gotta watch this new cinematic, the war campaign finale, because holy shit, like I'm not really playing retail right now, I'm balls deep in Classic, and I'll be playing Classic as soon as I do this discussion. I'm sorry, but I gotta know what's going on here, and we're gonna talk about this. So, I heard a lot of people saying, Irma Gerd, I was right, Irma, like, a lot of, I avoid spoilers pretty well, I think, but let's just watch it and see what happens. Oh, that music. Oh, that music, dude. Orgrimmar.
It's time. Those who defend Orgrimmar are Horde as well.
Sounds familiar.
Our brothers and sisters. These warriors have sworn to fight. For you. Many lives will be lost. Or perhaps just one.
Oh.
Sylvanas Windrunner! I challenge Makora!
Oh.
A traitor leading traitors. Why should I accept your challenge?
You want to make me suffer.
I'm excited.
Brother, you cannot win.
What do you mean?
My old friend. You and I.
We don't get to hide.
We don't get to hide.
I set you on this path.
And we knew where it could lead. Walk with me. The rest of the way.
Really? You're gonna dual wield? How can that even fit in your hand, dude? It's tiny. Sappy boy.
Let it be finished.
How could she hold him there like that? He's losing on purpose, I'm telling you right now.
The High Overlord falls. I trusted you. And so did they. Death comes, old soldier. And all their hope dies with you.
You cannot kill hope.
Damn right.
You tried at Teldrassil. You failed. Hope remains. You set us to kill each other at Lordaeron. You failed. Here we stand. You just keep failing. The Horde will endure. The Horde is strong.
Oh.
The Horde is nothing!
How did it not split her face off? The Horde is nothing? Oh. Oh. Oh.
see yourselves as I see you.
She cheated, but that doesn't matter.
Toy soldiers in tin plate. Beasts who howl for honor. Standing as one. Savor it. Nothing lasts.
It's not over yet. Okay.
What do we do now?
We bring him home.
The Elders of Garadar. Fuck, man. She's gonna kneel, isn't she? Honor. Holy pumpkin flavored titty fuck. Okay, so I at first my brain's a bit slow because I'm running on like 3 hours of sleep right now. But at first I was like, okay, he's challenging Ramakara, that's pretty cool. But as soon as he starts losing, I'm like, he's doing this on purpose. And that became pretty clear when, as soon as he split Charlemagne, which is so cool, by the way, nice mirror to Varian, who Saurfang respects a lot. And there's some parallels here, you know, when they're sacrificing them oneself for the greater good of their faction, or I guess the world. So nice parallels there, but he wanted to push Sylvanas, you know, like, because he knew if her pride was injured, or if he could call her out, then she would slip just that little bit. And she admitted it openly, that the Horde is, in her mind, and I've been saying this the whole time, right? I don't usually like to gloat, but all you fucking Sylvanas fanboys from, like, at the first half of the expansion easily, like, Sylvanas cares about the Horde. She is doing what she has to do for her people. She is what the Horde needs. She literally said they're all nothing. All right? Toys, tin soldiers, that's what they are. She's had that mindset since the beginning, but this is the first time she's announced it in front of the city, so that was pretty fucking obvious. And sipping some jasmine tea there. Not that she gives a shit or that it even matters in this context, but she cheated. She fucking cheated. Thrall was probably like, ooh, yeah, that brings back memories. But also a nice mirror, and I know we don't really talk about this, but the Warcraft movie. Durotan, knowing he couldn't win against Gul'dan in the Warcraft movie, all he sought to do was to expose Gul'dan for what he was. And he knew he would die for, and he did die for it by means of dark magic. But the difference is, Gul'dan scared the orcs into following him even after that, despite what Durotan showed them. Now, it looks like the Horde is like, you know what? Fuck you, silly Willy. You know, we're back on Team Green. So, this moment right here was so precious. Like, where he's got both of their weapons, Thrall embodying the old Horde that Saurfang helped really create. You know, he's got his axe in one hand, and Anduin it's really Varian's sword in his other hand. You know, Varian, you know, did mean something to Varrock in the end. So to kind of have that little representation of them like working together and it kind of reminds me of the Warlords of Draenor cinematic, where Yrel, I fucking hate Yrel, but this is such a good cinematic, where it was Duratan and Yrel against Blackhand, where like they used each other's weapons to kind of bonk, you know, Blackhand before they got teleported to safety. And that wow, sleepless brain is really showing. That reminded me of that too. Also, beautiful mirror here as well. The way just like his son, he looks at Lich King 2.0, or I guess 3.0, and says, "Let it be finished," before charging to his certain death. Almost forgot about that. Mwah. So much beauty, so much feels, much wow. What else? There was something else I wanted to comment on.
I trusted you. Death comes, old soldier. And all their hope dies with you.
This right here. Like, this is when it really started to click. It should have clicked sooner, but this is when it really clicked. When he said, "You cannot kill hope," I knew, and Sylvanas with her ego and her pride, she's not just gonna completely gut him outright, right? Like, she'll entertain the idea of him swinging on her for a little bit, but that works in Saurfang's favor, because then he can really push her buttons and get her to really spill all of this. And what else do I say, man? Like, I mean, the speculation for me by the end of the expansion was that Saurfang was sadly probably going to get his warrior's death. It's what he wanted, but even if it's what he wanted and was best for him and his character, it's still sad to see him go. This is actually a really good shot, now that I think about it. But when he's got his old friend Thrall, you know, his old friend, you know, the old hope and the old honor, and he's got his Akan, you know, the new hope and the new honor, you know, and then the rest of the horde who's faithful to them at their backs, you know, just speaks for itself. And he's the one stepping up. He's the one who defied her many times. He's the one who defied the horde to save the horde. And it makes sense in the end, right? It makes sense that he's the one that really lays down his life to let the rest of the horde see what needs to be done and what's really going on here. In this moment when he splits Charlemagne, first of all, okay, it probably only dinged her a little tiny bit, but any bit of that sword connecting to her face from Saurfang's strength should have sliced half of her head off. I'm sorry. And the fact that, okay, maybe she's got some necromantic strength that kind of helps her out, but the fact that she can parry and block and stand up against Saurfang's blows is kind of silly. You know, he's like twice her size or whatever. Doesn't matter. But this is how he was able to have her let her guard down just enough by him swinging around all haggardly. He was just able to land a little hit, and he knew that would piss her off enough to spill her guts and tell everyone what she thinks. And this moment, the Forsaken Death Guard, the flag bearer, even when the Forsaken, who, with the exception of Lillian and like a handful of others, the Forsaken have always been Team Sylvanas, obviously. Again, with a few exceptions. So to see even this subtle, I mean, it's not really that subtle, it's like just about center frame. Not quite, but it's in focus, so it's not super subtle. But that little gesture of her just like, wait, what? So once you see the Forsaken showing some doubt here, and be like, bitch, what? Like looking at her queen and war chief like that. Really, I'm rambling at this point. I'm sorry, but you know, you saw the length of the video. You know what you're signing up for when you're clicking watch. But that right there says enough. And her, and that, wait a minute, that little like, oh shit. Like at first, like, oh shit, I really just said that, didn't I? But you're like, you know what? Fuck it. Everyone should know it now. I said it. What y'all gonna do? Like that, because that's Sylvanas' attitude. You know, her sly behind the scenes manipulative stuff kind of, that's what she does, and that now it's exposed. Like, ah, shit. Welp. Fuck you guys. I'm doing what I'm gonna do anyway. And just that mute and that smile. That smirk right there. That was his goal. I said like 4 times, I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself. But that was his goal. He was trying to set her off. He was trying to get her to admit that because he knew that's what... And again, it was obvious already, but he knew he wasn't going to win this. Maybe Thrall didn't quite know what he was trying to pull off here, but Saurfang knew long before this moment that that's all it took. And that smile is like, the Horde's not hers anymore. It's ours again, baby. And he knows he's probably going to die anyway. And maybe just to seal the deal, not only to get his warrior's death, but to seal the deal for the rest of the Horde, rallying behind a martyr and an honorable orc. And her, because at this point, Sylvanas literally denounced the Horde in front of the Horde. She doesn't give a fuck what anyone's going to think of her anymore, even less so at this point. So, of course she's going to zap him with some necromantic shit or whatever. And again, a nice mirror to, I don't know if they did this on purpose, maybe they did, but to the Warcraft movie with Duratan, you know, getting sucked by Gul'dan. And I gotta say, like, a full-fledged movie with CGI and a 6-minute CGI cinematic from a video game company, the fact that these two are on par, or the fact that this might even be better, dare I say, it's more recent than the Warcraft movie, but like, god damn, man, like Terran, like you can't, it's compressed 1080 on YouTube, and it probably comes through even less on my recording. But the detail and the wrinkles of his skin and his hair, the rusted in the chin, I can go on about that forever. But just because, and she just ever cocky, ever striding with that fucking cape and that strut. That this is what she's always thought. So anyone who's like, oh no, her character was ruined, or Blizzard, god damn it, like, no. Sylvanas, like, I'd have to dig to find it, but there's like vanilla WoW quest text that basically said that she would plague half of Azeroth if she could, and control everybody in undeath. She's just never had the power to do that. Like, now that she has the power, of course, and now it's gone to her head. Now she's cocky enough and bold enough to announce that in front of the entire Horde, but she also kind of knows that no one's going to stand with her at this point. But you know what? This isn't over. I've seen people say, like, oh, googly moogly, what is left for patch 8.3? You know what's left for patch 8.3. Come on. The connections with Xalatoth, the Blade of the Black Empire, the connections with that to the Crucible of Storms, the Tide Sages, Unat, and, N'Zoth, and the Jar and the Pillars, like, N'Zoth is free. She's probably going to say, you know what? Fuck all these guys. They got no vision, all right? My eyes are open now. I'm going to join Team N'Zoth and, I guess, become like a Jar 2.0, but we'll have to wait and see. I know that's what a lot of people are afraid of. And I know a lot of people, there's a lot of different theories out there. But, if I sat down for 2 hours and thought about it, I could probably come up with a few better ones, but, like, better than what I just thought. But yeah, if the Horde and Alliance are both gonna fuck her off, I mean, Ajara is in N'Zoth's grasp, and N'Zoth is free, so how many other... She can't stand by herself. I don't care how powerful you think Sylvanas is, she can't stand by herself against the world. She can't. So who's she gonna turn to? She's got a vision, she's got power, she wants more. She wants more control. She doesn't want to lose that control. I'm thinking old gods. I'm like, that's the direction we're being led to. I know we don't want to think that, but it's the direction we're being led to. I like that little... I like how it even... Again, I'll half chalk this up to sleep deprivation, but I like how for a minute even I was convinced that, like, really, you're gonna try to Makora this shit, but that it was a pretty obvious fake out, but it was still a good, well done, slight expectation subversion to have Varrock know that he's gonna die, but he has to only after her spilling her guts, which he knew he could probably get her to do, and just that would seal it. And he died his warrior's death. And it was so beautiful that Zakan, and this moment right here. And there's a little musical cue from Old Soldier when they first showed that pendant, and Zakan and Anduin being first to step up and help, and Thrall, and they're carrying him in. Because there's the different representations here. There's Thrall in the old Horde and the old, that stuff. There's Zakan and the New Hope and the New Generation. And then there's Anduin, who respects all of them, but who's on a different team. And the fact that all three of them are carrying him, that's just some very plain and obvious symbolism, that Varrock did something for all of them this day. Everybody was helped by Varrock. And the fact that the three of them can carry them over the shoulder like that seems kind of far-fetched, but whatever, who cares? It's beautiful. And this moment, the determination and the conviction and the galvanization in the faces of these three. Like Anduin and Zakan, they're a bit younger, and they're a bit more sad, but there's just as much conviction and galvanization in their faces. Thrall, he's seen this shit, done it before. Now he's like, all right, how many times are we gonna have to do this shit? This is over. I'm not letting my horde do this anymore. Maybe he won't come back and lead it. Maybe we don't get to hide. Maybe that message will sink in deeper and he'll say, hey, I don't have a choice. I don't think he's going to crown Zappy Boy as the new war chief. I really doubt it. It would make for a nice happy ending, but I don't see it happening. I don't know, man. Ooh, this is a really good shot, too. I might make that a wallpaper. But I'm sorry. If you listen to this whole thing, I'm sorry, but thank you for hearing me out. This was gorgeous, man. I'll probably watch it again after I edit this down and just, really drink it in. But yeah, and as soon as Bay from Final Boss uploads his what's likely to be like an hour and a half discussion on this, I'm going to be watching that too, because his film school eye is brilliant, and I love when he picks apart these cinematics, so I'll be watching that. Thank you for watching me, though. I stream sometimes. I got some videos up. My most recent video was talking about classic WoW creators that you should be following, so give that if you don't like me, go check that out. Probably going to play some more classic after this. I got some Shadow Weave to craft, but until you see me again, live well.